most women who are sexually assaulted are is they're very common to think that we've done something wrong, or I must have been wearing something, or I must have given him the message that it was okay to do this to my body. At the time I was very suicidal and didn't really want to live with how worthless I felt. After being sexually assaulted, I knew it was important that even if I didn't want to go forward with it with the police at that moment, that I needed to get some kind of help, because I was having a lot of what I know now is post-traumatic stress symptoms, and it was making it very hard for me to function in my life. So I contacted Center for Community Solutions and saw one of the counselors there. And immediately I just felt very safe, which to me was huge, because at that time I didn't feel safe going out, I didn't feel safe doing anything. Sometimes she would have me, make out a suicide contract that I wouldn't harm myself until I saw her the next time and we talked. And so without the rape advocacy to walk me through the steps and to actually finally go to the police, without them there holding my hand, I wouldn't have done it.
Folks who've been victimized by sexual assault or domestic violence end up living in darkness, in secrecy, in shame, in guilt, in humiliation. But watching people go from such darkness into moving towards healing is like watching a light gradually turn on. Not only does it shine on who they are, you see the light in their eyes, in their walk, in their pride, and they have so much to give to others.
Women that I encountered that knew what had happened to me would sometimes tell me that they were raped even as young children or teenagers or whatever, and I was the first person that they had ever shared this with. And when you are silenced by the stigma that exists in society about this topic, you hold it all inside. It is so critical that women who have been the victims of violence be given a voice. We use the term sexual assault survivors, and this is where I think the Center for Community Solutions can come in, is to take a survivor and help them to become a thriver. To use what's happened to them as a catalyst for some very positive change in their life, so that their life after sexual assault can be richer and fuller and more meaningful.
When somebody chooses to leave is when it is the most lethal. People die at the hands of people who meant to love them, intended to love them, but didn't know how to handle it. And people do die. That's why she doesn't just leave, because it could be her life, her children's life.
Please, Lord, don't let Daddy be home when we come home. I said, Angel, well, don't say not to be home. Just ask God not to let Daddy be angry. And he just backlashed at me and said, I'm angry at you because you don't want to help me. Ask God not to let Daddy be home. And it was a huge turning point. It was then I realized I needed to do something. She understood that I desired at that time to just simply research the information, and she was patient to my needs. She always stated, when you're ready, I'll be here. We'll be here.
One woman looked me in the eye and said, it took me 7 years to find you. I don't want it to be 7 years for other people to start the healing process. I hear that voice ringing in my ear, haunting me to go, we need to get out there and make these services more available, let people know how to reach us.
I came to the center because I was a victim of abuse for 8 years. Domestic violence in our society now is so huge that there's not enough support out there, and the Center for Community Solution it is actually a one-stop facility where you'll get all the support, you'll get the protection you need, you'll get the help and the loving that you're totally missing out of your whole life. They make you feel comfortable. It's like a family atmosphere. They're very empathetic and very feeling towards your inner self and what you yourself are going through, as if they were the victims themselves.
Domestic violence and sexual assault affect 1 in 4 women, and that 1 in 4 women happen to be our moms, our daughters, our sisters. Also, 1 in 12 men are sexually assaulted, a number that many people are not aware of.
I was strong, but I didn't know it at the time. I knew I was strong because I had overcome many challenges related to domestic violence. The center was a place where both my son and I was able to receive assistance. He was upstairs receiving counseling while I was downstairs receiving legal advice. They gave me a sense of security regarding confidentiality because I was treated in a professional manner. They were empathetic and they believed in me.
Funding translates into the ability for folks to heal. It helps us reach more people. There's over 20,000 reports of domestic violence in San Diego. There's over 700 reports of rape. And we know that only 26% of rapes really ever get reported. Funding would help us do the outreach, provide the prevention, get into schools, let kids know what healthy relationships really look like. It also helps us reach the folks who have experienced domestic violence and sexual assault, begin that path to healing and strength.
I just felt so assured that this is the right place to be.
I have vowed for my life to help other victims.
This is not their shame, not their guilt to bear. And it belongs on the shoulders of the person who committed the crime and no one else.
If there weren't people that were helping to financially support the Center for Community Solutions, I wouldn't have been able to get the help that I got.